bio page. All the social media links are on there. But now, I want to talk to our in-house guests.
Oh,
we have...
Awesome. I'm Thomas.
And...
Frost.
From Bad Captain Games. You all want to give us the lowdown on what's going on with Bad Captain?
Sure. We just started, actually a couple years ago, Frost and I...
Back in those halcyon days when I still had, all my hair and...
You have all your hair, it's fine.
Insomnia.
Oh, well, that I can't help.
Because you're on camera, though, right? They can plainly see the
they
wig.
can see, yeah. I had left. I did a career change. I believe you did as well at the time. And we started at a kind of a local game studio, big corporation type. It was a really cool experience at the time. And then we started doing game pitches and coming up with really cool ideas. And then we realized the studio was going a different way. And we really wanted to make this game still, right? But we're not programmers. The rest of the team aren't programmers. So we realized, where do our skills lie? Well, we have an artist. Yeah, we have.
Nice.
Exactly.
Wait, so this started off as digital?
Yeah.
We were thinking about that. Yeah.
We had a studio. It was like, what's the next big thing our studio should do? We were like, 400 people? We got an idea, right? And now we're like, 4. So
small cutback.
Scale a little. Just a little, yeah. A small reduction, of
Just
course.
move the decimal point. It's fine.
Oh, that's exactly how it works, yeah. So we got, the idea originally came long ago with a friend of mine. We sat down. We were trying to come up with some really cool sci-fi ideas for like role-playing games and for our live-action games. And because there aren't a lot of live-action role-playing games in the area that are science fiction-based. Mm-hmm. There's one called Future Imperfect, which is the one my friend and I started, and then we left after like a few years. But the core of that idea was
the future with the company was.
Hey, that's how we look.
Imperfect.
Wow, we look pretty cool.
I'm sorry, I'll stop talking.
Anyway, no, it's all right. I got distracted by looking at us.
But...
Yeah, it's too soon for me. It's a good point. But no, the idea was like all these factions exist, and what got them there, right? How do you do the future of humanity? What's important to humans? How do you live on as an immortality concept, right? Mm-hmm. So we have all these different themes. You've got the idea of people who want to like upload their consciousness to like the internet, and live that way.
They're my favorite. They're Anachron.
Yeah. So
I will be like them someday.
We've got a bunch of player fantasies are actual based on the ideas of philosophy of immortality. Right. So we took this and I brought this to Amelia and was like, kind of a very competitive game based on this idea, and she was like, well, I was thinking of a cooperative one, but
I don't really like PvP all that much. But I mean, the good news is
competitive games.
I'm aware.
I know you are, not everyone is. I mean, so not everyone on Twitch is, but like,
Gotcha. No, good call, good point. I was going to say, but I love that comic. How dare you?
But I mean, we got a small group of people together who all have a love of sci-fi, but we all approached it in a slightly different way. And so we were able to combine our ideas and kind of meet each other in the middle and come up with something that was different than, any one of us had in our brains. And I think stronger for it.
Yeah, I was warned ahead of time. Like when you're designing a game, designing an idea, you kind of take the idea, put it out into the community, the people you're working with, and just back up. Mm-hmm. Right? Like you did your part, let everyone else help it grow up and become the thing it's going to become. And that's worked out really, really well for me. So now we have this card game that we've made, which is like Magic the Gathering or Netrunner, in that there are 2 to 3 people. You're playing against each other, but you're really playing against this middle deck. It's what we call a catch deck, like the Catch-22 concept. Mm-hmm. And we had to adjust the number, of course. That wasn't really a feasible consistency. But the idea is that you're one of 2 to 3 corporations trying to vie for like all the resources on this planet. And because you're corporations, you can't just blow each other up, right? Like, that's generally frowned upon.
You've got to be civil about
We live in the
things.
world with Walmart. And,
well, there are moments, right?
So
there are certain
Walmart
cards.
had mechs and, rocket launchers.
They do.
They do. Yeah, Walmart had, well, they do. If you go to like...
In Trump's America, they do.
Yeah, well, say, down in Baltimore, Maryland, you can get, all sorts of stuff. But a little further south when I was there anyway. But yeah, you play one of the different factions, you're trying to get resources and trying to fight for prestige. Mm-hmm. So the game has a couple of iteration points that we really, really liked, right? It's not just me versus you. It's I'm trying to improve myself while putting you down a little bit, right? And we're mostly fighting over this middle territory. Then there's...
So it's like the 2 of us, like, I roll the die, and instead of, like, blowing up this wall in your compound, I just insult your mama. I can do that, too.
You could totally insult his mom. In fact, we have a phase purely for trash talking to try to goad somebody to do something they probably shouldn't do.
Nice.
Because it's important.
Oh, look who invested in gold! I invested in platinum! What?
So these like events come up, and you're trying to get for them and get prestige for your faction or for your corporation. And as you level up, as you get these prestige points, your character levels up that you're playing, and this happens twice, getting you more powers and more abilities. Mm-hmm. The deck itself constantly drains your budget, And unlike Magic, where you have like a mana pool that's separate, so you can cast characters and throw spells out, your life pool and this budget are the same thing. Just like any other corporation, right? You run out of money, you're out of a job. So you got to kind of like balance these two things together. So you start with all your budget, and every time you prove that you're worth it, they give you a little bit more. But if you leave these problems out, it takes them away, or it costs money to actually keep things going.
All right. Now, normally when games delve into the realm of fiscal responsibility, I'm assuming you're not targeting ages 4 and below.
No. In fact, this world is pretty dark. It's basically 1,000 years into humanity's future, and the Earth is destroyed. Humanity basically just ruined it with overpopulation and pollution. And so the megacorps of old Earth are all that remains. They built these huge ships and blasted off from Earth and spent hundreds of years basically making the journey out to the rest of the galaxy. And so now they've seeded solar systems and are basically slowly building competition with each other as they fight for more and more of the known galaxy. And so they enlist you as this agent, meant to, at the very beginning, be a grunt and do their bidding. But if you do well and don't run out of money, then you grow in their eyes. And so the other thing we did
with the fun side of corporate espionage.
Indeed, prove your worth.
You see why I have her doing narrative, though? This is a much easier way to explain it, Ellie.
So speaking of narrative, that's kind of the other half of the game. You can play it solo. You can play it in a 1v1 or 1v1v1 competitive environment. You can also, we hope, once we've tweaked the rules, do like 2v2 or 3v3, but we're not quite there yet.
Baby steps.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
totally.
You only want to cross one corporation at a time.
Exactly.
I mean, the stretch goals are for the third one, but yeah, we're pushing.
All right, you only want to cross one middle manager at a time.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. But the campaign is basically story mode, where every corporation gets their own secret mission, and basically, if you are successful at any given game session, you learn a little bit more about the galaxy, and you kind of get corporate secrets that you otherwise wouldn't get access to. And if you are defeated, you still go on. You still continue the mission, but the game changes around you, and it gets a little bit more challenging, and you have to deal with some more puzzles and difficult things to overcome in the next round.
Yeah, taking a lot of hints from the legacy games as of late that have been coming out that became really popular, where these kind of consistent effects have a prolonged effect on your gameplay.
Well, tell me about the inspirations then. Like, what kind of games do you guys play that inspires this type of output?
So for me, I play lots of them. Let's see, Pandemic Legacy recently was a great cooperative game, which is really kind of fueling the idea of making this we have this one mode we really want to try to get done, which is 3 different corporations getting together and trying to actually cooperate to just survive the planet's hostilities. Right, everyone's throwing everything they got at just to make it so we could all be on the planet. Right, kind of the opposite theme, but the same mechanics, and it all works really well that way. For the more aggressive,
I'm glad that's what you wanted to. I could have sworn you were going to say like they got together and then sponsored a corporate bum fight league.
That's a good card idea. I'm going to add that.
Bum fight league.
Bum fight league.
Anyone with the bum fight league, I want my face right on there.
The horrible time in our society.
Well, we have a Kickstarter tier for that.
I wasn't ready for that one. All right, we'll just add it in. Gage, fix it.
Well, also want to point out that is on record as my idea, so putting that out there.
As far as the competitive games go for me,
I want 7 cents.
No problem. We can do that.
All right.
I'll get you another bag of gummy bears.
And gummy
bears.
You
like? Yeah.
That's correct. If you pay me in gummy bears, I will be A-okay.
Solid.
Not the Oscars though. That's a cash only.
So the other games I play that are more in line with competitive concepts, like Netrunner, is a very popular. It's actually a remake from an older game in the '90s. Very popular locally, in fact. It's a cyberspace type of game, hackers versus corporations. It's asynchronous.
Very confusing. Very confusing.
It can be incredibly confusing without a mentor. Yes, absolutely. I had a friend who showed me, and that's just how it keeps going.
When you want old school convolution, there is no better resource than Johnny. No one is more confusing.
But he's the one who's like making all this work.
No, he's not.
No, he's
not.
The
one that makes it look extra
He
complex.
makes it look like, see?
Eiffel Tower right with there. Herb over there.
Yeah, that's the gross comparison they make. But yeah,
I see.
But our goal is definitely to make our game.
Eiffel Tower? That's gross.
Yeah, there we go. And then knock it down. No, is to make it less complicated.
This is an all ages show. I just want to point out.
Yeah. They told me PG-13 earlier, so yeah.
Shame on.
We do want to make this more accessible. So the idea is, so Netrunner is an incredibly complex game, and we have found ways. We've tested it a number of times at various conventions nearby. Like we went to TempleCon down in Rhode Island. We went to Boston BFIG.
No, we were there.
Oh, really?
We hosted the ceremony.
That's awesome.
Thank you for sticking around and watching us.
No, I went to the party after.
They kicked us out. They wouldn't let us stay.
There was that too, but I went to the party afterwards.
I actually remember checking out your game at the that convention, I think almost a year ago, or just about a year ago. It was in Warwick, Rhode Island.
Yeah, that's TempleCon.
That's it. That was the one.
That's right.
I didn't get the opportunity to actually play the game, but I did watch the game being played.
Awesome.
I can't really say much because it's been a year, so I kind of forgot most of it. So
that's okay.
I'm certain it changed a lot too since then.
It has. The core mechanics are still the same, but yeah, the art has really ramped up. The look of it looks completely different, and it blows me away. When I was telling her this morning, if you try ever do a Kickstarter by yourself, it is a nightmare. There is no way I could possibly see this happening. But when I wake up at any given day, I can see part of our project has moved forward, and that is a brilliant thing to see. That everyone on the team is just moving, and that's really inspiring for us. But yeah, the game is supposed to be much more accessible, and we can get games down to 8 to 10 minutes, as opposed to a half-hour Magic match. The first game you play does take half an hour. You have to just get the game's concepts down, but once you're there, they're really quick, and I like that. And it started off way too complex, and we got a lot of feedback when we changed it, and people look at it, and we had one guy that was one kid who was 13 came in and was got this and just ran with it.
That's nice.
Yeah, I like it when they just get it.
Is it designed to be a game where you have best of 3, best of 5, or is it meant to be played in one match?
Because of the speed, I usually view it as a one-time thing, but because of the speed of it, most of the people who sat down to play it, especially at TempleCon, wanted to keep playing and just do the 2 of 3 thing, which I think is brilliant. And her campaigns are
best of 5 would be the campaign mode for season 1, and then hopefully over time we can grow the campaign in future expansions as well.
So basically 3 or more bomb fights.
Yeah.
One.
And
all right, so you've got the solid influence there. You've got obviously audience approval, and you've been getting a good response. Where can cats actually check this out?
That's all you.
So we are on Twitter at Bad Captain Games. We're also on Facebook at Facebook .com /Bad Captain Games. Our website is also badcaptaingames.com. You may notice the trend there. And I'm on Twitter at Iron Aaron, and this guy is on Twitter at Rule of 3, but has a 0 instead of an O. Yeah.
All right, and also you dropped in
4 hours ago.
a Kickstarter.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we are planning on kickstarting next week, right before PAX.
Right.
We will be at PAX in the tabletop section of the Indie Tabletop Mega Booth.
Yeah, we got in.
Yes. So if you also got into PAX and would like to check us out, please do so. We will be there Friday through Sunday, all day.
Nice. Cool. BadCaptainGames.com. Check them out. Also, all the links to social media and the like are on the site.
Oh, cool.
So you can follow them there, stalk them, get the lowdown on Zero Sum. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
Yeah.
This was all the fun so far.
Cool. Also, if you have any information, additional questions for them, etc., again, hit us up at geekdownradio@gmail.com. Yeah. But now, I want to